Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Feeling like you're in the dark when it comes to your money? Well, let's shed some light on a very important topic called annuities. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Worry-Free Retirement with best-selling author and fiduciary Tony Walker.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. Them that have it, get more of it. The less they need it, the more they love it. And it sticks to them like glue. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.
While some out there who know me pretty well may say, Tony, you don't seem to be the sharpest tool in the shed, most of my 2,500 plus clients who have spent time with me know that I am a straight shooter. I'm very detailed. Fortunately, I have a very, very good staff to support our process, and I do have a knack for making the complex seem rather simple. So with this experience in hand, I'm now in the process actually of training my favorite son-in-law in this business, Trey, about how this business works, as well as also training my favorite nephew, Wes Walker, who also now is working with Tony Walker Financial. And what I'm trying to teach them is how do we help savers worry less about money? And you know what? Of all the training I can provide these two individuals, the number one rule of thumb as an advisor is this. I always tell them, don't try to talk about things you don't understand, but instead focus on the things you do. Now, with that said, one of the areas of study that I'm teaching them about is something that I'm known around the country for, and that is my experience and expertise in a financial product called an annuity. You may have heard of these annuities, and chances are if you have, it usually is not in the best of light. So why is this? Why would someone like me who has studied from some of the top financial institutions in the world and some of the brightest people on planet Earth be such a proponent of annuities while many others out there, namely we're talking about talk show hosts, radio hosts, TV hosts, the internet, some of the people on Wall Street that hate these products, why is there this disconnect? Why do some people like me love them and other people out there apparently hate them? Well, today we're going to shed some light on both those topics, and we're going to turn the lights on, we're going to flip the switch and share the truth about these wonderful tools called annuities. Well, welcome to the Worry-Free Retirement, and I am that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist and fiduciary, Tony Walker, and as always in our Louisville studios on this March 3rd, 2020, is America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing well, and I don't know, I'm thinking about switches and lights, and this morning as I was putting the finishing touches on the show, I just thought about this. What in the world would we do if we didn't have light? Just think about that. I mean, I go back, I'm a big Thomas Edison fan. Have you ever studied much about Thomas Edison?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, back, he created the light bulb, but I mean, just the idea that this world has always had to have light, whether it was a caveman burning sticks or whatever.
Fire.
Fire.
Fire good.
Yeah. And I even think about the magic of a light switch. I mean, I think we take it for granted. I'm not an electrician. I don't really understand electricity, to be honest.
I'm not either.
You wouldn't want me wiring a house. But, yeah, to think of walking over to that light switch right now and flicking that little button on and lights come on.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you think about it, isn't
Or
it?
all the lights that go into our TV show, we just push a button
yeah.
and boom, we have 400 lights come on in here, and it's like, man, I don't have a clue how all that works. I really don't.
But you know TV very well, so let's talk about that a minute. If we didn't have these really, really bright lights, what would happen with the cameras who are trying to transmit that signal?
Well, it just wouldn't be a good picture. We have different lights that focus on you. We have different lights that focus on the background, and if any of those are off, then it's going to show probably.
That's right. Not going to be a good quality picture.
Right.
Well, that's kind of the problem out there right now in the financial world, folks, particularly with these products called annuities. the people that are trying to talk about them, particularly, and that could be people that are selling them and people that are not putting the proper light on these products. It's like Aaron saying, Aaron is trained in how to light a studio. You do a good job of this. I mean, this thing,
Thank you.
Yeah, when this thing is lit up properly and we see the final production on TV, it looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you got to know how to do that.
Right.
Okay. The average person, even an electrician that would come in here, let's say this, even an electrician who understands how to wire the lighting, if we said, okay, light this studio up so it'll look good on camera, they didn't have any training, they'd probably be just as clueless as anybody, right?
Right.
Okay. Same thing, folks, happens in the financial world. Just because, listen closely, just because someone holds themselves out as a financial advisor, a money manager, holds themselves out as a financial guru because they have a radio or TV show or write books, doesn't mean, think of this analogy, doesn't mean they could come in here and light this studio properly. Doesn't mean they truly understand how to shed the proper light on these products called annuities. So this is what we want to do today. And what I'm getting ready to share with you, what's ironic about this whole show topic we're covering, is for years, as someone who's a proponent of these annuities, again, if used properly, I don't think everybody should rush out and buy an annuity, but for savers, they're very good products and should be strongly considered. But for somebody who's worked with these products for years and knows these products very well, Aaron, you've seen some of these pictures. I've talked to conferences around the country. I've been asked to speak to large groups of agents because they know I know these products. So you got to ask yourself, okay, so why does this Tony Walker guy love these products? And why do some people out there hate them? Well, you're going to find that out today. And here's what I would say to this. I think this is why it's going to be very interesting. For the most part, most of you have no clue how the financial world makes money on your money. Do you know, Aaron? Do you really understand how
Not really.
I mean, you've heard me talk about it.
I've heard you talk. I've read some articles, but I don't really know how the money is made.
There you go. Well, you're going to learn that today. It's going to be really cool. We're going to talk about that. And I think once you follow the money, remember, folks, most things can be explained when you follow the money. You're going to understand why all of a sudden, surprisingly, many people in the financial world who before did not like these products, they're all of a sudden saying, hey, wait a minute. Maybe they do have some merit. Maybe these annuities should be used. Maybe there's, Aaron, a flip of the switch somewhere. And we're going to talk about exactly what's happening out there. So whether you own an annuity, thinking about buying an annuity, maybe you recently been talked into one of those luscious steak dinners and somebody's now pitching annuities because they bought you a $50 steak dinner, you're going to want to stay tuned because we're going to share with you, first of all, how do financial institutions make money on your money? What's the difference between a spread, a commission, and a fee? And then finally, I'm going to share with you why, again, if you're a saver, if you're one of those out there that's more concerned about the return of your money than on it, why you should strongly consider the proper type of annuity within your retirement game plan. I'm Tony Walker. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement. I'll be right back. Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. We care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
Tired of the roller coaster ride of the stock market? Let Tony Walker show you how to smooth out the ride with your money. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. Tony Walker here with America's favorite financial sidekick, Aaron Oriander. And we're talking about flipping the switch and shedding some light on a topic or subject. You know, another word for this, Aaron, or experience might be an aha moment. Have you ever had one of those? Have you ever heard that term, aha?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
I've heard that term before.
I'm catching you off guard. Do you ever think of an aha moment? It doesn't matter in anything.
I don't know. What am I trying
Too
to
early in
think
the
of?
morning for this kind of stuff?
Come back to me. I'll think of something.
Be thinking of something. Yeah, think of something good, too, while you're sitting
All
out there
right,
doing
all right.
nothing.
I'll try to think of a good one here.
But anyway, in the financial world, my very, very first true aha moment, I had already been through I'd successfully matriculated through the CLU, the CFP, done all that stuff. This was back in 1994-ish, 95, and I was at a conference. Then somebody said, you got to hear this one guy speak before you leave. I was ready to get home. You know how you ever been to conferences and they have different speakers? And I said, well, who is this guy? And they said, well, his name's Bob Castellone. I said, okay, whatever. And they said, no, you really need to hear him. And I said, okay. And it was funny. I walked in the room, Aaron. There's probably 40 people in there. And they said, whatever you do, this guy told me who had heard him. He said, don't ask any questions. Just listen. I went, okay, well, whatever. So you got to remember, back then I was doing a lot of estate planning. I was telling people to max out their 401ks. And this gentleman, and again, I'm pretty open-minded. I will say that God's given me a gift of being open-minded. I try not to ever just shut things off. So I'm listening to him just warn about the dangers of maxing out your 401k and a lot of strategies I was telling people of. And then people were asking questions and arguing with him. But you know what? The more he talked, the way he brought it up and he challenged people with the true economics behind this stuff, I thought, this makes complete sense. But I had a dilemma, Aaron, because I had been out telling everybody in good faith, by the way, let's use that example. In the financial planning arena and the way I was trained, you should always max out your 401k.
Yeah.
So here's a guy up here who's now convincing me that maybe, not all the time, that's a good thing to do. And I knew in my heart of hearts he was right the way he explained it and backed it up with the numbers. So he shed light on a truth that I'd never seen before. So it doesn't mean that I was intentionally wrong. I was just wrong. Now, the problem with that is in the financial world, a lot of people will not admit when they're wrong. So what happens is they become very dogmatic. I call them the never say never crowd. They never say do. They always say never do this, never do, and they keep saying that over and over. And a lot of people will say, well, Tony, I heard so-and-so on the radio say this. That's opposite of what you say. And I'll say this to them, Aaron. I don't care what they said. That doesn't mean anything to me. I know what I believe. I know that I'm meeting with 30 to 35 people a week. I've done this for over 35 years, and I'm working with savers, okay? So I can't speak to these other people. Incidentally, and I do think the marketing department here helped a lot with this, but speaking of books and radio and TV, as many of you might know, we just published our 6th book called Live Well, Die Broke, and it's available on Amazon. And on its release, I lose track of time. When was that? The 28th of February? I can't remember.
The 26th.
6th. On its release, we hit bestseller list in several categories on Amazon. So now, technically, I'm a best-selling author. It's pretty cool, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying all this for a reason. Even though I'm a best-selling author, listen closely, folks, even though I've been on TV for years, radio, I've got over 2,500 clients, I speak around the country, all that sounds good. Does that mean, Aaron, that everybody should hang on every word Tony Walker says? Does that mean that I know it all? Yes or no? No. Best-selling author. I'm pleased. I'm honored. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great book, Live Well, Die Broke. But that doesn't mean, folks, just because I'm a best-selling author, that everything that comes out of this little mouth, out of this sweater vest here, is always the truth. You have to verify truth. And also what I say has to be put in context with who we are speaking with. Again, this show is not meant for investors and speculators. If you're an investor or you like to speculate with stocks, etc., by all means do it. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with putting some money in the market for my clients, but my clients, for the most part, don't like a lot of risk. So, for instance, although we use Charles Schwab in our platform, and we put some money at risk with this recent downturn in the market, let's see, it's March 3rd, 2020. This coronavirus thing has really wreaked havoc in the market. We don't make a bunch of major changes with our clients' accounts because, number one, most of them don't have that much in the market. So although the market has gone down, because we used fixed annuity products, which are not subject to market risk, our clients aren't that worried about it. You know how many calls we've had, Aaron? We've got over 1,100 accounts with Schwab. Guess how many people called us during all this downturn worried about the market? I mean, take a guess. Out of 1,100.
500?
No, more like about a dozen.
Oh, okay. So like
They're not
nobody
worried.
really. Yeah.
They've been educated to understand that we're not fully in the market, that this is just a small piece of what they have, and it will fluctuate, and we are not market timers. I'm not trying to be an investor or speculator. The purpose of the Schwab account is for liquidity and to hopefully get a little bit of growth. So where do we come in with all these annuities? What's the purpose of the annuities? It's to make sure to stabilize things when the market goes down, because it will. So the annuities we use are fixed annuities, fixed interest, fixed indexed. They are not variable. We don't do variable annuities. Those are the ones that come with high fees and potentially a lot of risk. We use fixed annuities, and this has worked really, really well. We call it the split IRA concept. So incidentally, if you've got a 401k needs to be rolled over, maybe a 401k at a former employer, maybe you've recently received an inheritance, pension buyout, there could be money languishing in the bank, or just money you're tired of. Met a gentleman last night, Aaron. He came in. I'd met with him 4 years ago. At that time, he decided not to do business. That's fine. He comes in last night. He says, you know what? I'm tired of this. He said, I've got a broker. Guy's a nice guy. I love him to death. We meet and we talk about the accounts, and I leave there and I never know what the heck's going on. He still can't figure out the fees. He doesn't know how much money he's made. And he says, I'm tired of it. I want to know how much money I've made, all right? I want to make sure I don't run out of money. And I like what you're saying, Tony. So we are going to meet with him again, and we'll do the split IRA. We'll have part of the money in an investment account and part of it in annuities.
So you would say he's in the dark and he needs to shed some light on the...
Oh, that's
okay.
good.
Here we
you
go.
just had an aha moment.
Here we go.
There's
There's an aha moment for you.
Oh, incidentally, I did some interviews here in Louisville with the book, and one of the young ladies that interviewed me, really nice young lady, she made that comment after glancing over the book, and she sent a nice email to me, and she said, I like what you're saying, and she used the word refreshing. You're talking about me using and enjoying my money. The financial world, I figured it out now, doesn't want me to do that. So let's talk about that. Why, let's think about this. Why in the world, number one, does the financial world keep you in the dark, like this one gentleman, over the fees and over what they're charging? And why in the world would they not want you to at least consider annuities when these products have been around longer than most people have been on the planet Earth? I mean, I think it was the Roman soldiers first used annuities back in the days.
We figured that out.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around for 2,000 years, folks. I mean, these things have stood the test of time, and really all an annuity is, it's like a pension. It's a lump sum of money that's guaranteed, whether it stays there or not, whether it runs out or not. Some institution, namely insurance companies, is backing that annuity. So in other words, the insurance company, if you buy an annuity, is going to guarantee you won't run out of money. Something Wall Street can't guarantee. That's the facts. So why in the world, with people living longer, would somebody not want a guaranteed income they could never outlive? Makes sense, Aaron?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Forget what you hear, forget what you read. Ask yourself this question. Number one, are you worried about running out of money? And number two, if so, would you like to have something in there, not all your money, but something that guarantees it will pay you what I call mailbox money for the rest of your life? Okay, so the answer is yes. You're going to have to look at annuities, folks. I hate to break the news to you. I'm sorry what the guy on the radio says. You're going to have to look at annuities if that's what you're looking for. All right, so let me give you an example of what's going on here. So recently with the Secure Act, the government has mandated that 401ks, this has never happened, at least provide some sort of guaranteed income calculation or source, that's going to have to be annuities, within the 401k plan. Now, this is earth-shattering because, talking about flipping the switch, all of this time, 401ks, the big custodians that manage these things for a fee, have not wanted to put annuities inside the 401k plan. I'm really putting you on the spot, Aaron. Do you have any idea why they didn't want to do that? Remember what I said earlier, follow the money.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, because up until recently, annuities, the same annuities we sell, the same annuities everybody sells, only pay the advisor a one-time commission. This is really important, folks, to understand this. A one-time commission. That's not how Wall Street works anymore.
Okay.
Wall Street used to be on commissions, but when the 401k was ushered in 1978, again, folks, I know this may seem boring. This is really, really important to understand why you're being told what you're told. So in 1978, when the 401k was created and enacted into law, Wall Street came on Main Street, basically. Up until then, most people weren't putting money in the stock market. So all that Wall Street offered was mutual funds, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, basically securities. They didn't offer annuities. Why? Because Wall Street figured out, wait a minute, okay? Think about this, Aaron. If we were in business, let's put it this way. Would you want to have to get up, bust your chops every day, go out and see people, and try to sell something so you could earn a commission to take back bread and bacon to the home? Every day you had to get up and do that. That's
a hard
work.
life.
That's a hard life.
Yeah, no.
Or would you rather create a system where people come to you, you don't go to them, people come to you, and because it seems like a good idea, they hand their money over to you, and once they give it to you, by law, they usually can't touch it until 59 and a half, so it's locked away with you. All you got to do is keep them happy.
Okay.
All right? And instead of getting a one-time commission, you don't get it all up front, but you get this nice little fee every day for the rest of your life. Kind of takes the stress off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say if you woke up every day and Jessica says, "Where are you going today, Aaron?" "I'm just going to make sure these 100,000 people that are putting money with me every day are happy. That's all I got to do.
That's all I got to do.
And I'll come home and I'll bring more bacon home, honey."
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, in the new book, Live Well, Die Broke, don't you love the chapter called "Life is Too Short to Eat Cheap Bacon"?
Yes. Yes. Very funny.
You got to get this book, folks, for just tuning in. Live Well, Die Broke, bestseller on Amazon. You can get it at Amazon.com. It's also ebook, and now we have it out in the paper book, so the paperback. So earlier we just had the ebook, so you can order the paperback now. Live Well, Die Broke. Good book. It'll liberate you to enjoy your money while you still can, without the fear of running out of it. That's our theme in Live Well, Die Broke. So we're thinking about this idea. So how does everybody get paid? Well, in our practice, if we sell annuities like everybody else, it has to be a commission. But they're now creating products. Look at this article. This article is called "Making a Case for Annuities." This came out, it's a Michelle Reiter, R-I-C-H-T-E-R, on February 28th, 2020. And basically she's saying that fiduciary advisors, I love how she calls them fiduciary advisors. I guess that's me. I'm a fiduciary. And it says, no-load annuity product development represents a step in the right direction toward enabling fiduciary advisors to weave together an investing framework that includes protected life income. Now, what she's basically saying there is no load means no commission. So the industry right now as we speak, because of the Secure Act and a lot of other reasons, is now creating annuity products that don't have a commission. Okay, but you realize nothing in this world is free, right, Aaron? So you ought to ask yourself, even if you don't know anything about this business, let's read that again. Making the fiduciary case for annuities. First of all, that assumes that fiduciaries shouldn't even sell annuities, which that's totally wrong. I'm a fiduciary, been selling for years. A fiduciary just means I'm going to act in your best interest.
Right.
It doesn't mean I can't sell annuities.
Which not everybody has that
yes,
certification title.
Yeah, it's a title. It's really not a
title.
certification.
Okay.
It's a licensing. But my point is, just because I sell annuities, does that not make me a fiduciary? Of course I'm a fiduciary. So she's making the case for annuities. And the only reason she apparently thinks they're now all of a sudden good is because they're no load, no commission. Now, she admits later on the sentence is because they're trying to figure out how to weave the framework that includes protected lifetime income, because she knows annuities are the only thing that can protect lifetime income. But they haven't sold them because there's a commission. Now, that's a terrible reason not to sell a great product.
Right.
So you say, well, okay, if they take away the commissions or the loads, how are they going to make money? How do you think they'll make money on these?
Just from the one time?
Just tack a fee on it. No.
Okay. The fees. Yeah. Okay.
So potentially, and I'm saying potentially, we don't know this for sure, potentially that could even make these products worse because we don't know what the fees are that they're going to tack on them. See where I'm going with this? At least with a commission. See, when you buy an annuity from somebody like myself, the commission is built into the price of the product. Okay? You don't physically write me a check for the commission. You don't write, if you put $100,000 with an annuity through Tony Walker Financial, the $100,000 immediately goes to work for you. The annuity is the one that pays me the commission, not you. Does that make sense?
Right, the company, not the client.
But now, of course, there's built into that, if you surrender those products within a certain period of time, there's going to be surrender charges, but I'm just talking about how agents are paid. So, maybe you take away the surrender charges, but if this advisor that now is selling this no-load annuity charges 1% a year, I mean, that's going to start adding up, don't you think? It's got to come from somewhere. Either way, you're going to pay. So that's one way is commissions. Another way is something called the spread. Now, the way banks and insurance companies make money, they don't really charge a commission. I mean, if you gave them the $100,000, you have to ask yourself, Aaron, what do you do? What do they do with the money, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, I got an annuity. I gave the insurance company $100,000. I get an annuity. Well, they're out investing the money, trying to make money on your money. So let's say they can make 5% on that money you gave them, and the annuity pays 3%. That means they're going to keep 2%. That's called the spread. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Banks, you go get a bank CD and they pay you 2%. Do you think they've got that money locked in the vault? What's going on with that money?
No, they're out there investing it.
Loaning it
out, yeah.
Trying to make money on your money. That's perfectly legal. That's the spread. And then the final way, as we've kind of touched on, and to me, the way that gets the most expensive is fees. And this is where Wall Street has gone over the last 30 years. Wall Street used to work on a commission basis. Some people still do. The majority of them, though, love fees. Now, let's preface this. We, through our Charles Schwab platform, do charge fees. We charge 0.8% per year. That's 0.2% per quarter. So on a $100,000 account, we are going to take from your account to manage that, just the Schwab portion, the securities portion, $800. Now, in relation to the rest of the independent financial money managers out there, in most cases, not all cases, that's about half what they're charging. The average money manager is around 1.5%. And believe me, they make money whether you do or not. So even though they might say we do better when you do better, they also do better when you do worse. Those fees have to come out of there. So everybody, there's 3 ways. Everybody's going to have to get paid on your money. Once you turn over money to somebody, folks, the 3 ways they're going to make money, and it could be all 3 in some cases, but generally it's in a spread. That would be the large institutions like banks and insurance companies. That would be commissions. That was usually from the sale of insurance products. It used to be on all securities, but now it's mainly insurance products, life insurance, annuities, long-term care, etc. And then finally, the most popular way through Wall Street is fees. So where are we going with all this? What we're saying is a switch has been flipped, folks. What I'm trying to tell you is you're going to start hearing more and more about these products called annuities. The question is anybody you're working with really shedding the proper light on them? There's plenty of people selling them. If you're getting these dinner seminar invitations, believe me, folks, you're going to be pitched an annuity. One of the most common things I see, we're sending out an email blast and a video on this, Aaron, here this week, is people who have been to some of these dinner seminars, not all of them, been to some of them. They come into me 3 or 4 years later. They want a second opinion on what they've already done, right? They've already done this. It's not like they're thinking about it. This is the sad part. And all of a sudden I say, where did you get those annuities? Oh, I went to a dinner seminar and bought them. I'll always say, do you understand them? Well, no, not really.
Not really.
Did you get a written game plan to help you understand when to use them? They'll say, what written game plan? No.
Nope, but I got a good steak.
I got a good steak. I'm saying, hey, you made a $50 deal on it. They made $5,000 in commissions or whatever they made. Folks, you've got to understand that the financial world, including yours truly, makes money on your money. Question is, what are they doing to earn it? This is where we at Tony Walker Financial, I believe, are different. I'm the owner of Tony Walker Financial. I'm a fiduciary. I've done this 35 years. I have 13 full-time staff now, and every one of us are committed to helping you worry less about money. We have a proprietary process. It's a 5-step process I created called the Worry-Free Retirement. I spent a lot of money on our own proprietary software so that you can see where your money is, how it's going to be deployed, and how long it's going to last, which in most cases is for the rest of your life, assuming we put an annuity in there. So don't just sit there in the dark. Let's shed some light. Maybe this has been your flip the switch moment. Why in the world wouldn't you just take a few minutes, go online, TonyWalkerFinancial.com, and just click on that Let's Get Started. We can either talk by phone, or if it merits an appointment in person, I'll be happy to meet with you in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. So do it now. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started. Well, we flipped the switch on annuities. Next week, really interesting show. We're going to flip the switch one more time and talk about a very, very important topic. We're going to flip the switch and tell you when it's okay to start spending your money. But you remember, between now and next week, if all else fails, you be worry-free. Make it a good one.
If you got it, you don't need it. If you need it, you don't got it. You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.